This is the CBA Finals on FTF and 11 Sports. The best of three final series continues tonight with Game 2 between the defending champion Guangdong, looking for their 10th CBA championship, taking on Liao Ning. Guangdong, the Southern Tigers, a win away from that 10th championship after dominating the fourth quarter back on Tuesday as they took Game 1 of this series. And with that, we welcome you here to Qingdao alongside Tom Eschen. I'm Travis Eldridge, and head coach Alejandro Martinez Plasencia for Liao Ning, hoping for a different second half here tonight, as this was a good game through three quarters in Game 1 back on Tuesday, but a 30-15 fourth quarter by the Southern Tigers, helping them dominate their way to a Game 1 victory.
Yeah, and we've seen Guangdong in those fourth quarters all playoffs long be dominant at times. And you saw that in their big comeback in Game 1 of the semifinals against the Beijing Ducks. The fourth quarter is the place where the great teams win the game, and that's what Guangdong, the Southern Tigers, have been able to do in the playoffs thus far.
As you take a look at the teams getting ready for opening tip, the opening tip-off between two of the stars that we will watch here tonight. On the Guangdong side of things, it's the MVP of the league, Jianlian, taking the jump in that blue Guangdong jersey. On the Liao Ning side of things, it's Han Dejun, number 55, and Dejun with the early bucket.
Dejun, great first game in this. I mean, he was not efficient, but 16 points, 19 boards. You're going to see him make an impact inside going up against Jianlian all day long.
Yeah, Dejun, a double-double machine for this Liao Ning squad. First shot off there for Sonny Weems.
And you want Liao Ning to be a little more efficient today. In the first game, they only shot 36% from the floor and turned the ball over 18 times against this Guangdong defense, who was known, I mean, they were second in the league with steals this year, so they can turn the ball over.
Tianju forces up a shot, and the board comes down to Jianlian. Here is Weems. Had a terrific game in Game 1. Putting up 28 points for a team high. Yeah, OJ Mayo was knocked to the floor, no whistle, and he gets up. Dejun into traffic, and he is earning himself a couple of free throws.
Yeah, it looked like Jianlian took a little bit of a chance there going for the steal. Nice catch there by Dejun, and then absorbed some contact, and it might have been a little bit of an acting job there out the face.
You've seen a bit of that in the CBA throughout this restart. If you haven't been with us throughout the last month or so here on 11 Sports and FTF, the season halted at the end of January, early February due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then after 5 months off, the season restarted toward the end of June. They finished out the regular season with about 16 games for each of these teams. And then leading up into the playoffs. And it's been an abbreviated playoffs. Typically, this final series would be 7 games, but just 3 games due to the nature of this unpredictable season.
That's why things have been a little crazy at times, especially in that semifinal between Guangdong and Beijing. And you kind of never know. When it's such a short series, anything can happen. We saw Guangdong come out and dominate, but Liao Ning, I mean, they win today. Anything can happen in a Game 3.
Yeah, exactly. And it has been I mean, you look at Liao Ning, they really had no trouble dispatching of Xinjiang, the 2 seed in the semifinals, sweeping him 2-0.
Pass.
Tianju in the corner gives it up. Back to Guo Ailun. Standout point guard for this Liao Ning squad. Check out the handle. Whoa! With the bucket.
Ailun, 7-time CBA All-Star, but maybe the best ball handler in the league.
Weems trying to respond. Ball poked out of bounds.
Weems, that's his game. I mean, he's going to try to get in the paint. He's not going to take too many three-pointers. He didn't take one in Game 1, so he's a guy that's going to get in the lane. He needs to get to the foul line more in this one. He only got to the foul line 3 times in Game 1, and if he wants to do that more and be more productive, he's going to have to get to the line today.
Weems getting into the paint, kick out. Rui with a little mid-range jumper, it's off. Ball comes down to Guo. Does such a good job getting into the paint. Loses it. And it's out of bounds off of Liao Ning.
A little too much dribble there by Loon, getting into the paint there. Trying to get inside that 2-3 zone by the Southern Tigers. And another turnover there for Liao Ning. They're up 6-0. Something to keep an eye on.
For Guo Loon, having one of the best seasons of his career, entering this year, his best season back in 2016-17 in terms of points, averaging 19.9 points per game. He's averaged over 20 this season. So a nice season for Guo, a guy who has been a standout in this league for quite a while. And it's Dejun that is picking up the foul on Rui.
Looks like early on here, the Guangdong philosophy is try to get in the middle of that zone and force Dejun to maybe place a little bit more defense today. Maybe try to get him in foul trouble early, try to get that inside advantage.
Zhao Rui had a terrific game in game one. 16 points, go along with 9 assists and 6 rebounds. He did a little bit of everything for this Guangdong squad.
His best playoff performance thus far.
Yeah.
Had a good year. MVP of the All-Star game. Post the restart, averaging about 14 a game too.
Also part of the Chinese national team for the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Southern Tigers still without a field goal today, a couple minutes in.
And it's Sonny Weems picking up Guo Loon. Full court pressure. Now Dejun down on the block, trying to find Mayo in the corner. Pass looked like it might have been tipped, but it ends up back in Guo's hands. Coast to coast, right in.
That one fell right into Loon's pocket, didn't it? And he had a clear path to the basket too.
Right place, right time.
See the Flying Leopards in this 2-3. Dejun forced to defend again.
Weems hits. Finally, a field goal for Guangdong. Comes about 3+ minutes in.
Weems so good when he gets in the paint. He doesn't miss often once he gets in the painted area.
Have not heard much from O.J. Mayo. This is really the first time he's touched the ball so far. Former USC Trojan has it blocked. Ren Junfei.
Junfei does a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Weems. Count it, and the foul. A chance for the three-point play.
This all starts with Ren Junfei on the defensive end and turning that into a break. You see Weems here, just there in the short corner, a little jump stop, fade away, and he got credit for a foul there. I think he got touched a little bit lightly, but he gets it and he'll get to the line.
Lu Zixuan drawing the foul. As you see, Jian Lian, the MVP, checking out again. Remember, he missed the first 2 games of the semifinal series with an injury. Played game 3 against the Beijing Ducks, but has seen limited action in the 2 games he's played in so far since returning from that injury. It does not seem like he's 100%.
Absolutely not. Loon, almost getting in trouble there again in the middle. Jian Lian just providing, I think, a presence inside. What a pass!
Dejun down low, and it's Zixuan putting it home.
Dejun, for a big man, he can move, can't he? He's a really good passer from up top, too.
Weems, another bucket. He's been on fire here early. 7 points in the first part of this quarter. We've seen when Weems can catch fire, did so in the second quarter in game 1. It really kind of changes the landscape. One of the reasons Guangdong was able to take control of that game. And a foul as Dejun was trying to catch it in the middle. You mentioned all that Dejun can do. Just see him kind of shake it up. Maybe the wind knocked out of him. We saw him stretch the floor in game 1, too. He can hit the 3. And a good shooter for a guy who's 7 feet tall.
He shoots about 33% from the line over the regular season. And a big guy that can move is definitely an advantage in this league.
And it's Dejun. Did he get that bucket to go?
I believe he did.
Counted in the foul for the big man. Let's get another look.
Wow.
The quick pass, just catching the Guangdong defense off guard.
I mean, that's like in football when the defensive back doesn't turn around and the receiver makes it. Yeah, it's like a back shoulder fade from the out of bounds.
Already 6 points for Han Dejun. Had a really good game in the quarterfinals against Zhejiang, scoring 30 points and 15 rebounds. guy that is a double-double machine.
Nice find there down low.
Ball poked out of Dejun's hands. It'll go to Liao Ning.
Something to watch for this Southern Tigers defense is just how physical they're going to be. And we saw that with Jeremy Lin in the semifinals. And he got knocked to the floor several times. Like Dejun, he get the wind knocked out of him, get hit in the face. And that starts to take a toll after a while.
Mayo, 3, cash it. First shot for OJ Mayo goes.
You won't miss too many from the wing right there. He stepped right into it. He's wide open. See on the top of the left side of the zone here, matched up with Weems.
Weems gets the feet behind the line, and an answer for Sonny Weems. He's in double digits in the first.
Weems hitting a 3. That's big for the Southern Tigers team. Something they didn't get last game and still blew him out.
Not a guy that's going to take a lot of shots from beyond the arc, but he's feeling it here in the first quarter. He's got a good one so far. Liao Ning trying to force a game 3 on Saturday. They got to come back and get a win here tonight. Timeout on the floor. Back in Qingdao, what a start for Sonny Weems, the former Arkansas Razorback, with 10 points in the first 5 minutes of this one. Weems, a guy who has gone off in these playoffs for Guangdong, put up 40 points in game 1 of the semifinals against Beijing, and they needed all of them in order to pull out an OT win.
And Weems, a guy that wasn't the alpha male on this team before the restart. Marshawn Brooks was their leader. He'd be the one scoring, 30, 40 points a game. And then once the restart happened, Marshawn Brooks didn't come back over. Weems became the guy for the Southern Tigers team. Didn't miss a beat, going 16-0 in the regular season post-stoppage.
And Weems, a guy, as you see, Guo Ailun earn himself a trip to the free throw stripe. Weems, a guy who was part of this Guangdong squad that won a championship last year, so he had experience here in the CBA and also has experience on this stage in the playoffs of the CBA, though this year a little bit different, but is experienced in this type of atmosphere.
And he has been a part of the big-time league in the NBA. He was a 39th overall pick in the 08 draft by the Bulls and got a little cup of coffee there with Toronto, too, in 2010, 2011. So he has the experience to win, as we know, in this league, too.
5-point lead here for Liao Ning. 3 on the way. It's good for Guangdong. The answer by Wang Jingkai.
Little screen and roll action at the top of the zone, and Jingkai was left open for the 3. He made it, and shooting 46% from the 3 in the regular season. He won't miss too many of those.
Dejun, tough catch. He can't get the layup to go. Jingkai provided a nice spark off the bench in game 1. Here he is again. Tough shot. Poke free, comes back out to Weems. 3 on the way, cash it.
If Weems is shooting like this, it's going to be very tough for the Flying Leopards to win today. Weems hadn't made 2 threes in about a couple weeks now. So 2 threes for Weems, that's a pretty big bump there for the Southern Tigers.
And Mayo trying to get position, has it knocked away. Zhao Rui defending him.
You see the Southern Tigers playing a little token full court pressure here, and something that sometimes they'll trap out of, but other times just sort of make it a little tougher for the Flying Leopards to bring up. And you see here checking in that those 2 guards, Zhu and Mingzhuan, 2 guys that are going to make things difficult for the Flying Leopards on the top of that zone and on the inside too.
Weems earns himself a breather.
And the Southern Tigers, looking like they're going a little bit of man here.
Tianchu for 3. He can't hit. He is a guy that caught fire back in game 2 of the semifinal series. Hit his first 3 threes in that semifinal win over Xinjiang.
You see Zhu get that rebound on the other side. 6 foot, 160 pounds. He does everything for this team. I love him.
Little Energizer Bunny here. The floater over Dejun. He can't hit.
He had 9 assists in game 1.
Ailun not wasting any time. Mayo, same spot for 3, can't hit this time.
Mayo 2 for 6 from 3 in game 1.
Mingzhuan getting into the lane quickly.
A little hip check there. No, it looked like they called that on Ailun trying to get through.
We've seen a number of moving screens over the last couple of weeks. That could have gone either way.
I don't think that needed to be called.
Ailun didn't appear to put up any fight. Take it. And Yao Xian checking into the game. It's another guy who's been an Energizer Bunny type. There are a couple of backup guards, and number 3 who's guarding now, Zhao Jiwei, another one of those guys, has provided great spark for Liao Ning coming off the bench. This is a tough take by Ming Xuan, and it's Xian down with the board.
Ming Xuan will force every so often, kind of a heady player. He can make a great play, but also sort of a dumb play too, and that's another steal for Zhu.
Did you see Zhu try to shoot it? Try to get the continuation, the three-point play.
They're very generous about the continuation in this league. That was sort of a lucky one. It fell right into Zhu's lap, and you see, he's gonna walk with it,
and then just throw it up, just in case. You
get 3 steps after the whistle.
Very liberal interpretation of the continuation rule in the CBA. As the MVP, Yi Jianlian, checks back in.
Yeah, see what he tries to do, maybe be a little more aggressive. We know he's a little banged up, but see him work on the inside would be big for the Southern Tigers here in a close one.
Yeah, just 2 points, 9 rebounds in game 1 for Jianlian.
You see Daejun there in the middle, and sort of we saw in game 3 of the semifinals.
3 for Ming Xuan.
He can get hot.
Just like that, it's a 4-point Guangdong lead. Now 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Jiwei looking to answer, and he's going to earn himself 3 free throws.
I like Jiwei a lot. He provides a great counterpoint to Ailun, and sort of filling that role as someone who will initiate and also make some plays at the same time.
And clearly a foul there. He got the arm and the body on the way down.
Ailun went down earlier this year, and Jiwei, it almost like they didn't miss a beat, as you might not imagine with Ailun.
Can't hit the first. Jiwei, a guy who was actually named 2nd team All-CBA this season. Pretty impressive when you look at him as probably the 3rd option in the backcourt when you have Mayo and Guo Ailun.
Sort of on brand with that backcourt for the Flying Tigers. A little bit of flair, and that's good with that continuity when you got guys coming off the bench. Same thing for the Southern Tigers with Zhu and Ming Xuan in that backcourt too. So that's why these teams are here, guys like that.
Yeah, Jiwei scoring 10 points in game 1 of this final series, and he makes 2 of 3.
Some more token full court pressure here.
Ming Xuan handling, working against Xian. Open for 3 is Pang, and he hits. Don't want him to catch fire from there. Coming off a 20-point performance in game 1, and it's a 5-point lead.
Pang very, very steady for the Southern Tigers team. He is a constant, and he's not going to go too high. He's not going to get too low, but he's going to make those open shots when he gets the ball.
And I didn't catch what happened to OJ Mayo. Seems to be shaken up a bit.
Looks like the call might have been off the ball.
Yeah, because he wasn't even involved in a screen. Seems to be all right now.
If it was an elbow or something, they would go to the tape.
Well, there was a foul called, so Mayo at the free throw line.
That was a little bizarre.
Good free throw shooter, almost 84% on the season, and he makes the first. He had 21 points, 5 rebounds in the game 1 loss for Liao Ning. Guy who came in to this Liao Ning squad following the restart. Was not part of this team until the end of June. Came in and really helped pick up the scoring that they lost with Lance Stevenson, the former NBA player, leaving following the COVID-19 stoppage.
Mayo's going to need to have a big game today. He need to do more than he did in game 1.
Jianlian trying to get into the paint. Tough shot, in and out. Pang with a board.
Really nice defense there, but Pang there again with the rebound.
Zhu for 3 off the back rim. Long rebound out to Jiwei.
The Flying Leopards lucking out there after sort of getting a tough bounce, and they play good defense, but a second chance.
Mayo fell down. Okay. He got lucky not to be called for a travel. There's Ming Xuan. excuse me, Ji Wei. Kick out. 3 for Guangdong, and he hits.
Guangdong, a guy who plays on the inside and shooting 14% from 3 this year. And he made the open shot. Looked good doing it, too.
We're all tied up at 24 apiece.
Great
Ning
cut.
Xuan counted in the foul.
Really nice finish. You see that Fresno cut from up top all the way down low. And they're killing them right now down there in the short corner in the bottom of that zone.
And a great look from Zhu Pang. It's one of the things that continues to stand out about some of these big men is their ability to pass. We've seen it from Dejun already. Jian Lian can do it. Pang, another guy, 6'9". The ability to distribute from up top, and especially when you bring out a big man as a defender away from the bucket, it opens up more lanes down low.
Ming Xuan coming in and contributing. He's got 6.
And some more backcourt pressure here from Guangdong.
Not trapping or anything just yet, but making Ning work for it.
Mayo trying to take his man to the post. Has it stripped away, but a foul called. Ming Xuan, I think, thought he got all ball here.
Looked like he got away with the reach and then kept his hand in there.
Maybe just enough of the hand.
And he also had his left hand on the inside of Mayo, and that was enough to draw the whistle.
So Mayo back at the line. O.J. Mayo, former top 5 NBA draft pick, number 3 overall selection in the 2008 draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Played his final years in the NBA back in 2016 for taking his game internationally and for the first time playing here in the CBA this year.
See A-Loon checking back in after taking a brief breather. Giving some full court pressure here.
Oosh. Is that Ji Wei? It was. Nearly came up with a steal on the backside. Instead, called for the foul.
I like what the Flying Leopards are doing on defense, and we know they've gotten taken advantage of inside a little bit here, but they're being aggressive all the way out to the center of the court, even falling back into that zone, putting some pressure on these Southern Tigers guards to make some plays. And Liao Ning's going to need to force some turnovers here if they want to be able to do better than they did last game.
Zhu Pang at the line, and he is a tremendous basketball player. He's scored in double figures in just about every game of these playoffs so far, averaging 15 points per game, scored 20 back on Tuesday. He is a terrible free throw shooter.
I don't get it, because he's a good shooter. He can shoot from 3 for the most part. He shoots about 40% from the outside.
And they're right on cue, 50%. He's a 50% free throw shooter right around there on the season, and he makes 1 of 2. It keeps the numbers right there at the same.
I mean, it's tough here. We got both teams in the bonus, and at this point, both of these teams have to be careful of getting the other one on the line. And we know free throws played a factor, sort of, in Game 1, and keeping Liao Ning in until the fourth, with Guangdong suffering so much in the free throw line. But these add up, and one of these teams is gonna pull away if this continues.
Guangdong hits the first. Game 1, all the numbers for Guangdong, terrific. They shot better than 40% from 3, better than 50% from the field. Their free throws, though, struggling right around 50% on the game. And that was the one part in terms of scoring where Liao Ning had the advantage.
Yeah, Liao Ning 81% in Game 1.
All tied up at 28 apiece. About 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter.
See some man-to-man defense now here for the Flying Leopards.
Ming Xuan left alone for 3, and he makes him pay. 9 points here in the early going for the lefty.
He had 7 in all of Game 1.
Let's see if Loon can find
Pass.
Dejun underneath. Great floating pass, and another trip to the free throw line for Han Dejun.
Dejun does such a good job of using his footwork underneath. You saw him get this sort of the seal inside there on Jian Lian, and you can see Dejun, he's going right up against the MVP. He hasn't been scared at all, and I think that's been big. He struggled a little bit from the floor in Game 1, maybe a little more efficient here, looking to be in Game 2.
And Dejun, a guy who was one of the 5 finalists for MVP, the domestic MVP award here in the CBA. So maybe a little chip on his shoulder saying, hey, you know what? I want to go at the guy. I want to show everybody, all the voters, that I deserve to be in that consideration.
He went 9 of 10 from the free throw line in game 1, despite going 3 of 11 from the floor. So he can make his money there too, and help this team in whatever way he can.
Guy's a 77% free throw shooter. Here is Zhu Peng, down to Gian Leon, still looking for his first points, and there they are. The MVP swishes one home.
Yeah, he got up, and Zishan was the one who came through after the screen, and Gian Leon has 5 inches on him, and he used that to his advantage there.
Ji Wei, kick out. Tianju for 3, in and out.
Hustle there by Guangdong.
But it's out of bounds, and maybe a protest here. Originally, this ball is given to Guangdong.
Du Feng getting his 2 cents in there on the sideline. Coach of the year.
2-time reigning coach of the year now, Du Feng. What a dynasty he has helped build here in Guangdong.
You had some choice words there for Zhu.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Alejandro Martinez Plasencia giving his 2 cents from the other bench, and it looks like we maybe are going to take a look at this.
We got new basketball in
fresh
there.
basketball.
That'll help.
And we are going to give this to Liao Ning, I believe, and Fang is not thrilled. I believe he may be saying, like, can we look at the monitor?
It's like, why would you trade the basketballs when you have a monitor right there? What are you doing?
So Ailoon to inbound. And Mayo called for the offensive foul.
Could have been a makeup call.
Maybe. Mayo can't believe it.
Finals, man. Finals. Every little thing counts.
You got to appreciate the stuffed animals in the crowd on one side, and then we've got real fans in the other parts of the arena. This is just, I mean, everything you need from a finals atmosphere.
The question is, what will happen with the stuffed animals when it's all
That's a
said
great
and done?
question. Maybe we can auction them off. Ming Xuan lost it in his hands for a second, but kept alive. 6 seconds to shoot. 3 ball from Rune Wang, and he hits the triple. Guangdong on fire from beyond the arc so far.
Rune Wang, the shooter, he can hit those. Led the league in 3-point shooting last year, and
is that a warning for a technical?
It might have been, yes.
A warning to Alejandro Plasencia.
He hit 2 threes, Rune Wang, in game 1, and that's what you're going to get from him. A shooter from the outside. He's going to make an impact.
Ailoon, step back. The answer. Whoa, Ailoon. Big time stuff with 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Ailoon just keeps getting better and better with age.
And that is not a play you would expect a veteran to make. He fouls Ming Xuan way away from the bucket.
Didn't need that there. He's trying to be aggressive up top, but you got to move your feet if you're watching at home.
When you're already in the bonus, less than a minute to go, it's a couple of free opportunities. The free throw strike for Guangdong. And Ming Xuan going to make a pay. Already up to double figures for Hugh.
See Dejun getting a little bit of a break for the Flying Leopards as we head into the end of the quarter. Coach Martinez Plasencia trying just to take advantage of that time for his big guy.
How about Ming Xuan, a CBA All-Star this season? He doubled his points per game this year, up to 11. And there he's right at 11 points now in the first quarter here tonight.
He not only doubled his points, doubled his 3-pointers, his field goal, free throw percentage, rebound, steals, and assists all up as well.
So what you're saying is he got better.
22 years old, that happens. The guys take jumps in their early 20s. Didn't you?
Yes.
21 to 22, big year, right, Travis?
Huge year.
Yep.
Shot clock off here for Liao Ning as Guangdong continues to put a little backcourt pressure on the guards for the Flying Leopards. Loon, he's feeling it. Gets it down low. Guangdong up and under, and a couple of free throws coming.
Loon just with so much shake there up top. He can just get guys open just through dribbling, and it's really impressive. And it's tough for anyone to stay in front of him on defense.
Look at that move.
Sort of got Liao out of position, and Guangdong, who only played 5 minutes in the first game of this series, already with 5 points. He's back at the line.
Yeah, seeing some meaningful minutes as Sonny Weems, who's been out for a good portion now, comes back in with some fresh legs.
Yeah, but Guangdong, 5-point lead without Weems in there. Every point you get without a guy like that in the game is money in the bank.
Can't capitalize there on the first free throw.
Another guy who struggles with the line, 58%.
He averages less than 2 points per game in the regular season. But seeing some meaningful time. Now up to 6 points here tonight. 5 seconds here for Guangdong. Let's see what they do. Rui gets all the way through, and a golden opportunity. Can't hit the layup. But Guangdong still holding on to a 4-point lead here after one.
Rui, he's coming off his best playoff performance, and I mean, you gotta want to see him make that one and give the Southern Tigers some momentum, and instead it's coming the other way.
Back and forth so far. Liao Ning had a lead in the early part of this quarter, but Guangdong, the defending champs, looking to close out the CBA finals. They finished the quarter strong. They lead by 4 here in game 2. Second quarter action coming up on FTF at 11 Sports. Start of the second quarter in Qingdao, game 2 of the CBA finals. And how about the performance from Hu Mingxuan, the backup guard for Guangdong? 11 points coming off the bench, and he's got his Southern Tigers squad with a 4-point lead after one. Travis Eldridge and Tom Eschen back with you here in Qingdao. Guangdong looking to close out the CBA finals and looking for a sweep, and Liao, the alley-oop finish.
That's why he's the MVP right there. Just a little slip of the screen. Weems saw him up top. A couple guys with their NBA background coming together.
Liao, the MVP of the league, but as you mentioned, Tom, a guy who had more than a cup of coffee in the NBA, played in a number of seasons after being a top 10 draft pick. Tianju, 3! And Liao Ning needed that. Back to a 3-point game.
Tianju, a Liaoning veteran since 2009, been with this squad.
Liao starting to feel it. Remember, at just 2 points in game 1 of this series, he's now up to 6, and you can kind of feel him getting back into the rhythm after missing a couple of games in these playoffs due to injury.
Yeah, the Southern Tigers team played without him for 4 games after the restart, so he's been in and out of the lineup, so they know how to play without him, but in the lineup, you can see the impact he's making already.
DeJune looking to stretch the floor off the back rim.
Maybe a little early in the shot clock there for DeJune, maybe a little outside of what they're where they want him to be. Liaoning's got to keep that efficient offense going.
Xinkai finds Peng in the corner. DeJune another rebound.
Liaoning has to take good shots. That's what they have to do. They didn't do that in game 1, which is why they got blown out there in the 4th. Caught up with them.
Here's Guo Loon. Gets into the paint.
Shoot that.
Mayo falling away. Tough shot. And Liao down with the rebound.
That's where you want to see Loon go up there with the left.
Weems down low. Stripped away, but Junfei earning a trip to the free throw stripe.
Junfei might have gotten away a little bit of a travel there once he on the catch. I thought that might be the initial whistle. It might be what the Flying Leopards are arguing about.
Tianju not thrilled. Tianju in game 1 had a streak of his kind of come to an end. He had been in double figures in 13 of 14 games, just 5 points and 7 rebounds in game 1. Guy who shoots better than 40% from beyond the arc, so him catching fire from 3, a big key for Liao Ning in terms of spreading out this Guangdong defense.
Yeah, and he played, as you mentioned, really well after the stoppage. That part of that 12-game winning streak that was actually snapped in the beginning of the series.
Stolen away. Good defensive play from Ji Wei. Tough left-handed layup, can't hit.
Yeah, you want to see Ji Wei sort of think that one through a little bit more. 1-on-3 and going up against Sonny Weems, not to his advantage.
Here is Weems. Kick out, Jing Kai. Quickly ahead, Ji Wei pulls up for three. He wants a foul. Looked like there was some contact, but no whistle. And now Tianju called for the foul.
A little back and forth, helter-skelter a little bit, and some questionable decisions. I thought A-Loon made a really good pass there to Ji Wei, I believe it was, for three.
You got to look at the Tianju foul. Easy reach in, trying to stop the ball.
If you're not going to get called for a clear path, I mean, that foul doesn't hurt you too much.
And Gian Liao, as we've seen for the last couple of games, takes a seat. They've really tried to limit his minutes.
It speaks of the depth of the Southern Tigers, too.
That too, yeah.
Being able to be so good without him.
Rui to Junfei, stolen away. Here's Guo, and he's fouled around midcourt.
That middle of the zone sometimes you see as a place where teams decide either to leave open or to trap. And so far today, we've seen the Flying Leopards really collapse in the middle, right around that free throw line, which has opened up things underneath, but right there causing the turnover.
Ailoon tossing it to Dejun. Nice little give and go. And Dejun follows it in and gets the bucket. He's up to 10 points.
Dejun just running into the paint. I mean, you can't fault him for that. Nice back door cut there. It just didn't go through. Nice little play drawn up there.
Back to a 3-point Guangdong lead. This is Rui. Pulls up, three. Rattles in.
Him heating up for the Southern Tigers, really important. He struggled in the semifinals. 4 points in game one, 4 points in game two, 5 in game three. But as we mentioned, in game one of this series, 16 points, really giving the Southern Tigers a boost.
Mayo still looking to get going. Can't hit that one on the bank. Rui quickly the other way. Good handle.
A little advantage here for Weems on the inside.
But Mayo pokes it away. Saved it.
Ooh. Yes.
And over and back.
Thought Junfei had his foot on the line, and he did. I saw that from here.
It's right when you get it on the logo. You know, that's when sometimes you can confuse the official, but our officiating crew right on it, spot on.
Qingdao, which is housed these players and these teams now since the middle of June or beginning of July for just this site.
Right.
And they switched on and off in the beginning of June during the restart between here and Qingdao and down in Dongguan. And it's been impressive just to see how this league's reacted and been able to keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, as far as we've seen, everybody's stayed healthy, and the CBA having a chance to crown a champion here this week, either tonight or if Ning can pull off a victory coming up on Saturday. Mayo off the back rim again. Just a couple of points so far for him.
Mayo's been a little quiet. He's been a little passive. When he does let the game come to him a little bit, he could get more aggressive here, though.
Weems drives in, off the glass. A three-point opportunity coming for Sonny Weems.
A little bit of a danger zone now here for the Flying Leopards, as Weems just able to get that one to go over Dejun.
Great ability to finish through traffic and through the contact for Sonny Weems. Former Arkansas Razorback now up to 15 points.
Weems had 40 in the first game of the semifinals against the Beijing Ducks. It wasn't as productive, and they needed all 40 despite the loss, and you saw him in game two with 28, and a guy that is their guy, and you can see him give him a 9-point lead here and get those big plays and those three-point plays. Despite the fact he's not a great three-point shooter, he will get fouled and finished quite often underneath.
Mayo, nice backdoor cut, and there's a bucket for him.
This is another nice pass there by Dejan up top.
And you mentioned not not kind of, you sometimes as a standout player like May, you can't wait for the game to come to you in these types of moments. There he went and made himself available for a bucket.
Little burst of speed.
Rui for 3, and that's not a great possession for Guangdong.
No, I mean, you're up 7, and you try not to allow Ning to get on a run, which they are. Here they come.
Loon now in double figures, coast to coast for the standout guard, and just like that, the Flying Leopards back within 5.
Loon, you can see Weems, they're trying to make a charge, and Loon avoiding him like a traffic cone.
A great outlet from Dejun. It's a 5-point game. Liao Ning looking to force a game 3. Guo Loon helping this Liao Ning squad going on a little bit of a run here in the second quarter, and they are back within 5.
Guo Loon, a guy that if you're not familiar with the Chinese Basketball Association, he's a star out here, and he has been for a long time, one of the faces of this league, and he does it with just a little bit of everything. I mean, he's a leader on the court, but also has that flair to his game, and I think that makes him a lot of fun to watch, and him very valuable for this Flying Leopards team, a team he's been with since 2010 and stuck around here for a long time.
And Ailoon's been really good in this restarted season. 5 30-plus point games since the season was restarted toward the end of June.
Nice pass underneath.
And the layup can't go. Up ahead to Ailoon. Some numbers. Over to Mayo and the easy bucket.
Ailoon and Mayo in transition. That's tough to stop if you're any team.
And we've got a injured player for Guangdong. It's Su Wai. He was the one going up for that layup and landing hard there on his backside.
Yeah, he got inside there and a little bit of a tailbone, it looks like, and sort of just got off balance.
That hurts. As head coach Stu Fang will call over his team over to the bench as the medical staff works on why. This Guangdong squad, if you thought as defending champs they couldn't be any better this year, they were. After winning 42 games in the regular season last year, they then went 44-2. They were even better this season. They lost just 2 games in the regular season. At one point had won 31 games in a row. That streak ended in the semifinals with a loss to Beijing here last week. But they have been the dominant force in the CBA. So that is what Liao Ning is up against. You are up against the mighty Guangdong here trying to knock them off in the CBA finals.
Even more impressive is the fact they came back after months of being off and didn't miss a beat, even without one of their best players.
3-ball for Rui goes. Yeah, I mean, this Southern Tigers team, until that loss against Beijing last week, they hadn't lost technically since December 15th. It had been a while.
Yeah, and that's a testament, as I mentioned. You'll see in their depth and what they've built here over the last 2 decades.
Good take here from Dejun, and he draws the hard foul.
And they're physical, the Southern Tigers. You'll see that in their play, especially on the defensive end. They're going to knock you around, and they're going to get their money's worth on every single all the contact they make and every foul, too. And see Dejun wincing a little bit again.
And he misses that first free throw. He's a good free throw shooter, but his second miss here so far tonight.
Dejun Liao Ning, his hometown. So playing for his hometown team since 2007. Grew up without a lot. He's really made himself into quite the pro.
Yeah, a guy who actually saw his first time in this league when he was still in college. First player in Chinese Basketball Association history to see time still in the college game. Here is Weems getting into the paint off the back rim. And Weems has been a little quiet since that hot start.
He'll come in bursts, Weems. I mean, he's got 16 points, so he's had a couple bursts today.
Yeah.
A lot of size position here.
Dejun can't hit.
Zhang Fanri came over to help and did a nice job there on Dejun, getting his hands up and not fouling him.
Weems, nice little head fake and hits the floater.
little hesitation baseline, and once a guy like Weems is able to get to the baseline, it's going to be tough to stop. Just as we were talking about him being quiet, he comes and scores. There's some Southern Tigers waiting to come in.
Ailoon has it blocked. Weems, no numbers. Let's see if he goes. Coast to coast. Little finger roll. He's up to 20 points in the first half.
The body control here by Weems in transition. Too tough for the Flying Leopards to stop as we see him coming back the other way and just able to flip it up there to score his 20th point. We're not even with 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, in the half. Little timeout here as the Flying Leopards need to talk some things over.
Yeah, this is a time you got to kind of get your bearings. Well, the timeout gives us a chance to tell you about the Simulation Football League coming up this weekend here on 11 Sports and FTF Next. It's week 5 of season 15. Catch a doubleheader on Saturday starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and then a triple header on Sunday, which begins at noon Eastern Time. So make sure you download the FTF Next app for all your Simulation Football League action.
You know, I like what the Flying Leopards have done here in Game 2 as compared to Game 1. I think they've been a little more efficient on the offensive end. They've been a little reckless in transition, and that's allowed the Southern Tigers to sort of get things going for themselves on the offensive end and some of those turnovers and quick plays. And Sonny Weems, as we mentioned, a guy who's turned into a leader for the Southern Tigers team. And in Game 1, if you remember, of the semifinals, making that clutch basket to tie things up and force overtime. And they would lose Game 2, but it was a part of the 31-game winning streak that we talked so much about. Weems just so impressive and efficient as well for the most part.
Shooting 80%.
And the amount of shots he takes. He went 13 of 25 in Game 1 for those 28 points. And he doesn't take a lot of threes, but from the three-point line on in, he can be very efficient and doesn't miss too often.
And so it is a 9-point Guangdong lead coming out of this timeout for the Flying Leopards.
5-on-4 for a second, and Liao going to take advantage.
Can't hit the three, around and out.
Yeah, Zishuan fell out of bounds there. I thought the Flying Leopards take advantage. Zhao Peng, excuse me, on the Guangdong side.
Now back to Weems. Got to feed the hot hand. Good look underneath, and the finish there from Fanri.
Fanri, a guy who fills in for Jian Lian and did over the course of the year and can make those shots inside and just try to stem the tide when Jian Lian isn't in there, doing a nice job of that.
Mayo lost it for a second. Gets it back, and a free throw is coming for O.J. Mayo.
You can see when Mayo knows he's sort of on an island in an isolation mode, and that's when he either goes to the step back or is able to blow by, and he did it there and drawing another foul and trying to get some points on the board for the Flying Leopards here. You know, down 9 here, they want to keep this close.
Mayo with 10 points so far. Spent 1 season at USC. Really ran into a host of stars during his time in the Pac-12. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love were part of the UCLA team across town during his time with the Trojans his 1 year.
Remember, there was some Mayo mania, I feel like, back then. Just how highly touted he was and going to his program like USC.
Ball stripped away by Ailoon. Good defensive play, trying to go coast to coast, and he does.
What a finish in traffic for Ailoon, causing a lot of problems on defense tonight.
Quick 4 points, cuts this back to a 7-point Guangdong lead. Big stretch here for the Flying Leopards toward the end of the half. Got to keep this within reach.
Mayo on Weems here.
Weems off the glass.
Uses his body once again really well.
Coach Dufang may have wanted a foul there.
A little of a forearm or a shoulder shove.
Zishuan thought about the 3, now back out to Mayo. Huidong, strong to the 10, and free throws coming for him.
What about Huidong getting in there? I mean, he hasn't played a lot at all. I mean, he played sparingly in the semifinals, and He's made a little bit of an impact. He could be, they like to see him as sort of the future of Liao on the inside of things. Maybe after Dejan gets a little bit older, isn't able to play as many minutes, but drawing yet another foul and able to get to the line again.
Yeah, just 21 years old, and he makes the first free throw.
6'8", 243 forward. As you mentioned, Travis, earlier in the broadcast, he averages just under 2 points a game.
That one tipped out. Those are, that's fair in the international game. You watch international basketball, once the ball hits the rim, you're allowed to tip it out. That's exactly what Liao did. Pang kicks back out. Zishuan off.
That's the shot that the Southern Tigers have made. How to beat the zone.
Here's Mayo.
Street ball.
Falling down, keeping the handle. Now in the lane, floater goes.
So Weems will push off on Mayo on one end, Mayo returning the favor on the other end.
Weems Euro step.
Yeah.
And back and forth we go. Ailoon pulls up, left alone for three. It's back to a three-point game.
Didn't even need a pass fake there for Ailoon. A head fake was all it took over to Mayo. Defense left off, Ailoon sinks it.
59-56, 2:16 to go. Weems, kick out to Liao. Caught up in the air, back to Weems, and he quiets the run.
Nice show there by Dejan to stop Liao, who isn't moving that great, but a nice dish on the baseline there to Weems.
Now the stars starting to come out here toward the end of the first half. Guangdong, short.
Ooh, could have been a foul there on Mayo. Might have put the Southern Tigers at the line.
Weems, free throw line, Runwang.
See, that's what the Flying Leopards have to avoid. The shot by Guangdong, not a high percentage three-point shooter, resulting in points on the other end. I mean, the lead was 3 a moment ago. Now it's back up to 7.
Mayo kicks back to Ailoon. Now, Zishuan off, but the long rebound and another offensive opportunity. Guangdong.
They're going to leave Guangdong open behind the arc. They want him to shoot that.
Now Mayo taking a shot on Weems. Gets his own rebound. Second chance goes.
Mayo starting to really assert himself now on both ends of the court with a minute to play here in the half.
Weems and Mayo now matched up. Now a mismatch. Let's see if Weems takes advantage. Kick out. Pang. 3 off the back rim.
Nice board by Ming Xuan.
Another offensive rebound. Fresh 14-second reset. Weems steps through. Probably should have gone up. He might have had a chance at a three-point play. Instead, it's here on the floor.
You're seeing Guangdong get a lot of time, and now you can see the Southern Tigers sort of looking at him as maybe a weak spot on the defensive end. At 6'8", 243, his size is kind of in the middle for both sides of things, and you saw Weems. I thought he could have taken that to the rack there too, and he's maybe a little tired right now.
Yeah, Weems checking out.
Ning took about 4 steps behind the baseline, but no one saw it but me.
20 seconds to go in the half. Ming Xuan for 3. They left him open and he made him pay. 14 first half points for Hugh Ming Xuan. And Ailoon draws the foul.
Yeah, Liao sort of got caught there, picking up Ailoon. Ailoon did the right thing and absorbed the contact. 5 seconds to go. Let's see what they do.
And neither team in the bonus here in the second quarter, so
a little bit cleaner than the first.
Side out of bounds. Mayo with 4. Let's see if he can get a shot off. Mayo, and an offensive foul called on Mayo.
Yeah, Ming Xuan at 172 pounds, giving up a few to Mayo there on the defensive end, and that's just you know, the product of size.
Yeah, about a 50-pound difference between the two.
That's close, because Ming Juan wasn't really in front of him.
Yeah. 0.3 seconds left. They've got to just catch and shoot. Off the front rim. I'm not sure if it would have counted or not, but all in all, it's a Guangdong lead entering the half.
Yeah, you want to see what the Flying Leopards do out of the locker room this time. We know what happened in game one, where the Southern Tigers went into that fourth quarter and were able to just to blow out Ning to finish things off. So this conversation for both sides, especially the Flying Leopards, will be the most important one of this finals, of this season for the Liaoning Flying Tigers.
Guangdong, 24 minutes from a second straight CBA championship. Game 2. Liao Ning looking to battle back. They need a big second half if they want to come back and force a game 3. Second half action from Qingdao coming up here on FTF at 11 Sports. You're watching the CBA Finals here on FTF and 11 Sports. Travis Eldridge and Tom Eschen back with you. Game 2, the defending champions Guangdong looking to sweep this final series and go back-to-back. And what a first half they got from Sonny Weems, the guy you just saw in that Navy uniform. 24 points for the former Arkansas Razorback.
O.J. Mayo, too, on the other side for the Flying Leopards, asserting himself in the first half. A little more as we got through the second quarter. Need to see more of him in the third and fourth if Liaoning wants to avoid what happened in game 1.
Tianju, nice pass, nice catch in the corner, but he has it stripped away. Would have been a shot clock violation. It is a shot clock violation either way.
Rui, nice play there on the baseline by Rui, and not avoiding the foul, which when the officials see a slap, they're usually going to call a foul, but that one was clean enough, and then able to get possession after that, knowing the shot clock was going to expire.
Liao Ning looking to force a decisive game 3 on Saturday. Avoid the sweep at the hands of the defending champs. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here with Guangdong.
A little bit of argument there. Dejun stepping up there. Just providing just enough resistance for Jian Lian in the inside.
I'm not sure who that went off of.
I don't think they do either.
They're going to give this ball back to, now maybe we're going to look at it. I think they may have just reversed the call, and it may be going to Liao Ning now. Much to the dismay of head coach Du Fang. And we're going to take a look at this.
All right, first review of the day. What we got here? Let's see if we get another replay and see what they look at. I love the fact in the CBA that the coaches stand so close.
Me too.
To the replay as it's happening. That's Du Feng right there to the left, watching it with the officials, and they'll argue their case
they'll point things out. Yeah. So you take another look at this.
It might have gone off. I mean, I couldn't really tell with Dejun. Did it go off his derriere?
It may be off of number 11, Zishuan's knee.
I think that's just off Jian Lian, honestly. I think he just bounced it, and I think he just lost it. I think Zishuan...
no, but I think you're right. I think the backside of Dejun may have played a role here.
The other angle disputes that.
Okay. Our officials were looking at this angle, though, which seems to...
Oh, overhead angle.
The overhead.
This might be the best angle.
Too low. Let's see. And it's going to be...
Off Jian Lian?
Yeah, so it's Liao Ning basketball.
Telling him you lost the ball.
Do you imagine John Gruden standing over an official in the NFL? Hey, man, look, he got 2 feet in, man.
What about Bill Belichick? Yeah, it was out.
Yeah, it was out of bounds.
It was out of bounds on him. Give us the ball back. Okay.
A little backcourt pressure here from Guangdong. Still hanging on to an 8-point lead. About a minute into this third quarter.
Jean looking for a pick. Setting a pick, excuse me. He rolled all the way in the inside.
Zishuan just not sure what he was looking at there, but it wasn't to anybody in particular.
He wanted Mayo to start floating to the corner, but it didn't look like that's where Mayo was going.
It's a big early stretch here for Liao Ning. A team that struggled, was good in the third quarter for the first part of the third quarter in game one, and then just was dominated down the stretch in the second half.
Rui was wide open there, he's wide open this time too.
Takes it and he hits it.
He didn't shoot it the first time, and you're wondering what he was doing. And then, I mean, I don't know what the Flying Leopards defense, it just looked like they were napping.
Back to a double-digit lead for Guangdong.
That's a big moment.
It matches their largest of the game at 11. Zishuan trying to answer and does. Big time shot.
That's an important answer there by Zishuan from the corner. Keeping this one at single digits. I think that's what Liao needs to do. They just have to be within striking distance down the stretch.
And a foul away from the ball. I believe they're going to get Tianju there. Trying to keep his man from getting through a pick. There's the hook.
It looked like that the Southern Tiger was looking for that back screen to get Pang the ball underneath to get him going a little bit here.
Tianju now has to check out with 5 personal fouls already, so I have a feeling he's going to be on the bench for a while. Good strong take, and the putback from Jian Lian. I don't know who they're going to give that to.
The height of Jian Lian there playing a factor and a presence. And that's all the Southern Tigers need from him, is just to be present down low and be another big body in there. They don't need him to be the MVP necessarily to win today or win this title.
Zishuan gets the pick from Dejun. Little matchup zone here for Guangdong. Little miscommunication there, low shot clock. Got to get it off and doesn't hit the rim. It's another turnover.
Southern Tigers picking up the D here in the second half. That's what we've seen them do.
Weems thought about that 3. Now Rui. Count it. 2 threes here in the second half already for Zhao Rui.
A guy that struggled so much in the playoffs up until this series. When the lights have been the brightest, Rui is starting to shoot the lights out.
Mayo, step back at the free throw line and a big time shot.
Good response there by Mayo and the Flying Leopards. That's what they need.
Pang left alone underneath. A foul, and I believe they're going to get Mayo on this one.
Mayo knew it. Hit him in the head.
A little late getting back, and yeah, it's clear as day.
Another nice pass by Rui as he's starting to get going a little bit here for the Southern Tigers and doing a little bit of everything as they've rolled out to a double-digit lead, coming out of the locker room in force. And Dufeng, he teaches them well out of the timeouts, teaches them well out of the locker room. Let's see what Alejandro Martinez-Plasencia draws up for Liao when we come back.
Another strong start to the second half for Guangdong, and Zhao Rui, 2 threes already in the start of this third quarter.
Rui starting to get going a little bit here now for the Southern Tigers. Liao needs to find him, and they haven't done a good job of that, as Rui is starting to heating up, and he started that in the first half, started that in game 1, actually, and now that's continued now through game 2, going 3 of 5 from the arc, and now 11 points today, giving the Southern Tigers that outside shooting that will help them and possibly help them to a title.
On the Liao Ning side of things, these are the 2 guys that, along with the big man Han Dejun, got to get going. Both OJ Mayo and Guo Ailun have been pretty good so far, but it's scary to think they're going to need more if they want to come back here in the second half.
If missed free throws are any indication, that'll help the Flying Leopards.
And if there is any weak spot for this Guangdong squad, at times it's been the free throw shooting. And Zhu Pang is one of those guys. About 50% on the year, and there it is. Right on cue, he's 50% for the game.
He was 4 for 8 last game, and scored 20, I guess. I mean, in game 1, and he's up to 6 or 7 today.
1 of 2 at the line. Doesn't really help his numbers, but it keeps him status quo.
See this pressure here by Guangdong.
It's been a lot of token backcourt pressure, but it's just enough to make you concentrate.
And get you deeper in the shot clock, too.
Mayo tries to skip Xi'an. Now Dejun going up strong. Can't hit the first. And Rui tracks it down.
That hit Dejun in a tough spot. Didn't really have much to do with there. I don't know if that pass was the best.
Gian Leon, kick out, corner 3 for Rui again.
He thought that was good.
He was starting to feel it. And we've got a foul on the rebound. Get Dejun? No, we're going to get, I think they're going to get Guo Ailun there. Tied up with Gian Leon.
Yeah, it was a good box out, actually, by Dejun. Just a long rebound.
Rui thought about that. He's been really good to start this third quarter. Gets into the lane, strong take. Second chance. Kick back to Gian Leon. He wants 3.
Good defensive possession there by the Flying Leopards, forcing Rui to get in the paint, the shot that he doesn't normally take, and also Gian Leon from the outside. That's what they need.
Ailun dances into the paint.
Good
Tough
take.
shot,
Good
and
take.
Weems numbers.
Mayo shoved Rui on the back on that break. Got away with it.
Rui now kicks out to Gian Leon. In the corner for Junfei. 3 more.
Junfei, a guy that scores when the Southern Tigers need him to the most. 12 points in game 1. He had a huge second half in one of the semifinal games. He'll do whatever it takes.
Ailun trying to answer, he can't.
Little danger zone here for the Flying Leopards, down 15.
Rui, corner 3, bucket. 14 points for Zhao Rui. And it's a game-high lead for Guangdong.
Southern Tigers doing everything right while the Flying Leopards are not efficient enough right now on the offensive end.
Dejun kicks out to Xi'an. They need an answer here. Falling away, no.
Interesting seeing Xi'an in there instead of Jouet.
Weems fouled as he was driving in. He's going to advocate for that to be free throws, and I don't believe he's going to get it.
We saw Jouet for the Flying Leopards a lot there in the first quarter, and we haven't seen much of him since. He's got a couple points, but you see Coach Martinez going with Xi'an here as the first sub in the second half for the Flying Leopards instead of Jouet.
And Weems is going to get free throws. We may be in the bonus here. Looking to add to this 18-point Guangdong lead. Weems getting close here in the third quarter. The number of points he scored in the entire game in game 1, dropping 28. He's now up to 26, and we're just about the midway point of this third.
He's got only 2 points here in the quarter, but Rui has been the guy.
Here is Ji Wei checking into the game for Liao Ning. Wei Dong, strong take, needed that.
Wei Dong might be that guy that the Flying Leopards lean on as their next option behind guys like Ailun and behind guys like Dejun and Mayo. They're going to need, as you mentioned, Travis, a 4th or 5th guy to just give them some points, give them some meaningful minutes here to keep up with the Southern Tigers and keep that efficiency on the offensive end. Like I said, they've been missing it from Jouet, a guy who averages 11 points a game, had 10 in the first. He only has 2 today, so they're going to need someone else.
This is Ming Xuan. Had a good first half, 14 points in that first half coming off the bench.
It's like a straight man-to-man right now from the Flying Leopards.
Rune Wang, now Gian Leon, the MVP, dialing long distance.
It's a big bucket. That'll open some things up as now Dejun is going to have to come out and play that. So look for other guys to start slashing inside.
Mayo fouled. Almost got a long 3-point play opportunity, instead going to the line.
You see how deep that Dejun's playing there. He's a little below the free throw line, and if the Southern Tigers move it around enough now that he's gonna have to respect that 3-pointer from Gian Leon, that's gonna open some things up even more for the Southern Tigers.
Mayo makes the first. Now 15 3-pointers already for Guangdong. That has been a big difference maker so far. Mayo can't hit the second.
Another big quarter here for the Southern Tigers, and they've blown teams out in quarters like this, like we saw in game 1.
Yeah, this game was an 8-point game and a half. Now a 20-point lead for Guangdong.
They know how to win. They did it last year. They've been the dominant team here in the CBA, looking to add another.
Oh, mid-range jumper for Junfei. I mean, you don't win 44 games in the regular season and only 2 losses without knowing how to finish games. Mayo, big-time bucket. Good strong take from him.
I guess if you're the Flying Leopards here, you just have to get a couple stops and string together a little bit of a run and get a couple baskets at a time, cut it to 15 maybe, and just try to stay above water at this point. You have to stop this run at some point, and you're going to have to do it at the defensive end.
Weems pressured by Mayo, gets by his man, and beats Dejun to the bucket. 28 points for Sonny Weems.
And you see the desperation by the Flying Leopards taking a lot of chances, and that's not how you're going to come back. As you can see, Southern Tigers making them pay every single time.
Xi'an pulls up, and he hits. You're right at the defensive end getting stops. You can't trade buckets when you're down by 20. Little floating pass from Weems is off. Numbers here for Liao Ning. Mayo leaves off. Blocked away. Good defense from Junfei.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Southern Tigers taking a little bit of a chance there on the offensive end, and then the Flying Leopards, they had a 3-on-1 in the fast break. You got to take advantage of that.
Got to capitalize.
That pass just came way too late from Mayo over to Loon.
At that point, you almost just want him to take it up.
That's where you jump stop right in front of the free throw line and make a decision.
Jiwei for 3, in and out.
Good board there by Fanri.
And some numbers here for Guangdong. Swatted away. Great play by Dejun with the save. Here's Jiwei over to Xi'an. 3, yes.
That's 5 quick points from Xi'an there. I just mentioned him checking into the game here in the second half and providing a boost for the Flying Leopards and keeping it at double digits right now. But at the same time, Liao Ning hanging around, that all starting with Dejun on the defensive end.
How about that block and then the save to keep it in bounds and keep it alive, leading to the transition 3. And it gets this lead back within 20. Well, if Liao Ning can find a way back into this game, we have a game 3, if necessary, right here on 11 Sports on Saturday, coming up the 15th of August, 11 p.m. Eastern here on 11. If necessary, the deciding game 3 coming your way Saturday night, 11 Sports, your home for the CBA Finals. As of now, Liao Ning still has a lot of work to do here in Game 2, trailing now by 17 points in the third quarter. They need a run similar to one that they had in Game 1 against this Guangdong squad when they lost in the third. They trailed by 10 points about this point in the quarter, went on an 11-0 run to actually take the lead before Guangdong would kind of put the foot to the metal in the fourth and finish off this Liao Ning squad.
A little more of a trapping press there and forcing a bad shot there for Zhu, who was dribbling it the entire time. Southern Tigers, a great passing team, a lot of assists usually, and Liao Ning trying to take them out of that.
But Mayo gives it right back with a turnover. Pang fouled by Mayo.
I mean, this Southern Tigers team, don't forget, played in every finals from 2003 to 2013, and they won a lot of titles in the course of that time. And as the things have developed here in the late 2010s,
and Mayo draws the offensive foul.
That's a big call because Mayo has 5 fouls right now.
Yep.
Which
that's a gutsy play.
Which that could have gone either way. Mayo with 5 fouls, I mean, he was just sort of standing there, the push off by Ming Zhuan, but with a quarter and 3:15 to play, Mayo's going to have to be very, very careful, as Ming Zhuan also picked up his 5th right there.
Some foul trouble to watch down this stretch. Here's Jiwei on the wing, gets it down to Dejun.
I mean, that'll play in the top with the aggressiveness of Ming Zhuan.
Guangdong for 3, short. I don't know if anybody got a piece, but a foul underneath.
Southern Tigers are going to let Guangdong shoot that. I mean, I know he made one earlier, but a guy that's shooting just less than 15% from three this year.
You give them.
They're going to give it to him.
I hope somebody got a piece of that, because it's not a very good shot if not.
Do have a horn here, and
oh, that's it for Mingxuan. A loose ball foul on the rebound, and he is done. I mean, he had a terrific first half, 14 points, but his night is done a lot earlier than he would have hoped.
Absolutely, that's going to play an impact both on the offensive and defensive end. He makes clutch shots on offense, and the defensive end at the top of that zone, that's going to play a factor.
Rune Wang, left alone, can't hit the corner three.
Don't forget, there's a quarter and 2 minutes to play here. 17 minutes left in the game. I actually thought Jouet was the one after he shed him like a tackler in football.
Here's DeJean. Double teamed in the post, tough shot. And it's out of bounds off of Guangdong.
Yeah, you want to see DeJean look for his offense, but also look opposite there once the defense started to collapse. Flying to Leopards are going to have to make some threes here if they want to come back.
DeJean hands off for Xian. Trying to get the big man going. Good feed to Weidong, but he can't hit the layup. And then picks up the foul.
Yeah, that's Weidong, 21 years old, a little out of control. Then the foul on the after the rebound there. Just inexperience for Weidong. His first season here with Liao and his first big moment. And now that you're in the bonus, you're putting Guangdong at the line.
Zhang Fanri at the free throw stripe. Swishes home the first.
Fanri, another guy on the Southern Tigers team who's been with them now for a number of years in continuity. He's been there since 2016. Continuity in a franchise so important, which has allowed the Southern Tigers to develop that depth over time and be so successful.
2 for 2 at the line. It's back to a 19-point lead.
Nice backdoor.
And Ailun was open. Somebody on Guangdong got a piece.
I believe they call the kick.
Yeah. Resets the shot clock to 14. And here the fans starting to get into it. Remember, there are fans in the stands here throughout the CBA playoffs. Good steal. Somehow kept alive by Jiwei. 6 seconds to shoot. He's got to hurry. Xian for three. Yes!
I guess that's not
whatever
how you
works.
draw it up. It worked for Liaoning, and they're hanging around a little bit as Xian's heating up.
Air ball and a whistle. They're going to get Fanri for a push. Good break for Liaoning.
You see Xian once again makes a three on one side and boxing out deep inside at 6'1", drawing a foul. Good minutes here from Xian today.
Very valuable minutes. Big stretch here, under 2 minutes to go in the third.
See a mismatch here for DeJean underneath.
No help coming. Kick out to the corner for three. Jiwei fouled, shooting the triple.
Can't foul Jiwei in that situation. He shoots 71% from the free throw line, but a jump shooter, and Zhu, I think, knows it, got a little too aggressive. And now Liaoning with an opportunity.
Big time opportunity for Jiwei. 71% free throw shooter during the regular season. 3 free throws for him as Han DeJean takes a seat. He'll get a breather here at the end of the third quarter.
DeJean didn't do a lot offensively there, and he didn't do anything in that quarter, but I liked what the presence he had inside. A couple nice blocks, a couple nice passes. He can do it at all aspects of the score sheet.
Zhao Jiwei, kind of an Energizer Bunny type for this Flying Leopards squad. Came in, it was huge in game 1 of the semifinal series, scoring 19 points. Here's a real catalyst to a gigantic Flying Leopards win in that first game, helping them sweep that semifinal series against Xinjiang.
Career highs in points, assists per game, minutes this year. 25-year-old. been with Liao Ning, though, since 2013.
He hits all 3 free throws. This is back to a 13-point game.
Nice job here by the Flying Leopards to sort of calm things down and say, hey, we still have a quarter and a half left to play. And with Ming Juan, that absence on the defensive side, starting to open things up.
Zhu for 3, can't hit. Quickly, it's Ailoon, just falls to the ground.
I thought that was a good no call there on both sides. I don't think the Southern Tigers player was set, and thought Ailoon was a little out of control at the same time.
Kind of just slipped.
It probably could have been a travel.
Yeah, honestly. But it's going to stay here with the Flying Leopards, is ruled out of bounds off of Guangdong.
Cross screens there on the inbounds.
Xi'an thought about that 3. Now takes it strong, can't hit the layup.
Little heat check in layup form for Xi'an. You don't hear that much, but feeling things
That's
on the
a new
offensive
one.
end.
Weems kicks out. Now Xi'an Lian blocked from behind, but a foul. Jiwei at 6'1".
Yeah.
Got a good amount of ball from the 6'11" center.
It's tough to get up that high to where Xi'an Lian had the ball, and I think we're going to see here on this side of things. He might have got him in the
fingers, head, yeah.
He might have got him in the head on the emphatic block. I mean, if he had maybe gone a little less hard to swat him, it might have been a non-foul.
So free throws for Jian Lian. Mentioned former NBA player. His best season coming back in 2009-2010 when he averaged 12 points per game with the then New Jersey Nets.
And turn that into becoming the CBA's all-time leading scorer, rebounder, free throw shooting. Guy who's done it all.
Yeah.
Won some titles doing it too.
5-time MVP in this league. Under 30 seconds to go here for the Flying Leopards. Check out Ailoon, great handle.
Good defense though played as well by Zhu.
6 seconds to shoot. Guo pulls up and he hits. Still 9 seconds for Weems. Up ahead to Pang. Jian Lian's got 3. He's got to get a shot up. Does, too strong. And so Liao Ning, a team that trailed by as many as 20 in this third quarter, it's manageable as we get ready for the fourth. They trail by just 12.
Things could have gotten out of hand there in the third, as we mentioned. It was a 20-point game, but the Flying Leopards stuck with it, actually got some stops on the defensive end, and parlayed that into keeping this one close enough as we head to the fourth to have a shot at it and to force a game 3. If not, Guangdong's the champs once again.
Guangdong 12 minutes from their second straight CBA championship. But the Flying Leopards looking to mount a comeback, force that decisive game 3 on Saturday. Fourth quarter from Qingdao coming up next. Start of the fourth quarter here in Qingdao, Guangdong, and Jian Lian, the MVP in the CBA, looking to close things out and sweep away a second straight finals victory. Travis Eldridge and Tom Eschen back with you. Liao Ning trailing by 12 here in game 2 as they try to force a decisive game 3 on Saturday.
These first few minutes of the fourth going to be all important for both sides here, and getting a good start at Dejun underneath.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want if you're the Flying Leopards. You go to your big man, you get an easy bucket, and it's back to a 10-point game.
See Guangdong looking inside.
Pang trying to force one in there, ends up in a held ball.
Xi'an just got inside enough there and dropping down to get his hands on it without fouling. That could have been an open layup, but Xi'an doing a nice job of dropping back in that zone and making a play defensively, honestly.
Tough pass, too, there. And possession arrow stays here with Guangdong.
A little bit of a force, yeah. No O.J. Mayo right now for Liao Ning. Going to try to make this run at the beginning of the fourth without him. They'll need him down the stretch.
He's got 5 personal fouls. Take it away. Here's Guo Ailoon. finishes. It's now a single-digit game as Ailoon's up to 20 points.
That Liao defense collapsing more on the inside for Weems. And
stolen away again. Ailoon looking for another bucket. Offensive board from Jiwei.
Ooh, I thought Jiwei was going to take
about that three.
Ailoon, see Ailoon as the point guard, went up and got the ball, now getting into the offense with 5 seconds on the clock.
Gotta shoot. Three. Yes! 5 straight points for Guo Ailoon, and all of a sudden it's a 5-point game.
Guo Ailoon doing it on the defensive end, getting possession twice in a row, forcing 2 turnovers on that Southern Tigers defense right off the bat here in the 4th. Making the first and then getting just enough space off the Dijon screen for a little step back 3 there after the crossover. How about Ailoon? How about these Flying Tigers? We got a ball game, Travis.
Guo's got 23 points. And this was a 20-point game just a couple of minutes ago. And the Flying Leopards will not go away. Timeout on the floor. Reminder, you can wake up early this weekend with K-League Soccer on 11 Sports from South Korea. Live action starts Saturday morning at 6 a.m. with Ulsan taking on Pohang. Then watch Daegu versus Incheon Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. It's K-League Soccer right here on 11 Sports.
If there's an Achilles heel other than free throws for the Southern Tigers, it might be turnovers. I mean, all their ranks over the regular season are top 5, top 3 in the league, but they're 9th in the league in turnovers this year. And I think the Flying Leopards might know that and know, that they have a chance. The fact that the Southern Tigers aren't great, and we have another one.
Another turnover traveling on Rui as he was pressured in the backcourt.
I don't know. I don't think the Southern Tigers have even put a shot up here in the
a bunch of turnovers here in the first minute plus.
So Flying Leopards putting the pressure on. Now let's see what they can do in a set.
Xi'an had a quick look at a corner 3. Now gets it back. Pass deflected. Back to Jiwei. 1 second on the shot clock. Gotta get it up, and it goes! Everything going for Guo Ailoon to start the 4th.
Little magic here for the Flying Leopards.
A 10-0 run to start the quarter.
Couple steals and beating the shot clock twice now in a row, Ailoon.
MVP going back to earth. Jian Lian can't hit. Weems with the offensive board. Back to Pang. Finally quiets the run.
This run's so big, too, for the Flying Leopards, doing it all without O.J. Mayo on the floor. He has, as we know, those 5 fouls, but still, he could be in this game. Instead, the Flying Leopards just doing it on the defensive end and getting some good shots and making some miracle ones, too. Catch.
Good catch down low. Bucket goes for Dejun.
Might have gotten away with a travel after the catch and maybe even a shoulder bump, but they'll take it.
On Dejun up to 15 points. Only 8 rebounds. Low for his normal rebounding numbers.
And 19 last game. He had 20 in game 2 of the semis.
Yeah, he can really tally a bunch of them as we got a foul underneath, and it's Guo Ailoon volunteering for it.
Yeah, this is really nicely done here by Zhao Pang underneath and getting that position, sort of knowing that he would have the mismatch with Ailoon and being able to take advantage of that.
A 2-point game. Remember, just under 3 minutes ago, this was a 12-point lead coming into the quarter. A 12-2 start here to the quarter for Liao. Ning has him back within 2. Oh, mid-range jumper for Junfei is off.
Another factor here, too, is Ming Zhuan. He's the best ball handler for the Southern Tigers, and that's come through in the turnovers and just the offense sputtering a little bit here.
He fouled out in that 3rd quarter. A little pump fake for Jiwei, and this game is tied.
Wow.
Junfei loses it. Weems offensive board, count it, and the foul.
Guangdong needed that. The ball just sort of falling into the hands of Weems, and you know he's going to finish no matter the contact underneath, as all sorts of bodies on the floor, and Weems flying in there. Dejun letting that one fly by, and Dejun had to be more aggressive in trying to get that rebound.
Weems now up to 30 points on the game. Former second-round draft pick has come up big in big moments throughout these playoffs for Guangdong, including in game 1 of the semifinals, when he put up 40 points versus Beijing, and they needed every single one of them to win in overtime.
See here how Guangdong matches up with A-Loon at the top.
Guo's pass picked off by Weems, up ahead to Rui. Easy bucket. Quick defense into offense, and quick 5 straight points for Guangdong.
Yeah, A-Loon maybe bit off a little more than he can chew there, you know, with a guy as long as Weems on top. I think they're better off here getting it inside to Dejun and letting him dish or take it into the hole.
Nifty little move from Jiwei out to Xi'an. Up off the top of the backboard and out.
See, Weems has really picked up his players over the last 3 minutes.
Quickly ahead to Pang. Looking for the skip pass, just really errant pass. Ai-Loon quickly the other way, coast to coast.
Man, Ai-Loon had a man on his right, and then Weems poking in from the left, and somehow able to contort his body and finish with the left here and keep Liaoning down just 3.
Guo has been gigantic here in the 4th quarter. Weems in the post, airballs it. And that is, he had a good matchup down low there. He's got size on Guo, but not able to take advantage.
The Southern Tigers rushed things a little bit here. I think they've been thrown off their rhythm here with the pressure that the Flying Leopards are putting in on defense and not really settling in and letting Weems get a little more isolated at times from the top of the key.
Little zone defense here for Liaoning. Weems finding a little space, and he hits.
Weems can do that against the zone. If he gets a little screen off the top, it's tough for the Flying Leopards to recover underneath there in some of those soft spots.
33 points and 9 assists for Sonny Weems.
It was a 3-2 look here from Guangdong.
Ai-Loon all alone, top of the key, finally missed one.
Man, he was wide open to Dejun. That's that screen and pushed Pang all the way down in the middle of the paint.
Weems going back to work, and a foul trying to poke it free for Xi'an.
I mean, that's sort of a frustrating foul there for Xi'an. You don't need to do that in that situation. You know, a lot of help underneath, and A-Loon will check out. And
interesting strategy here. You bring in OJ Mayo, but you use the opportunity here in the middle of the 4th quarter to give Guo a little bit of a breather, making sure his legs are fresh for the end.
Xi'an has been on there for now quite a bit.
3 is off. Mayo down with the board.
I mean, Weems taking a 3, made those earlier, but that's not his shot.
Mayo pulls up for 3.
That's Mayo's shot.
Right on cue, he swishes one home.
Mayo has sort of let the game come to him all day long. He's never forced things too often, but when he's been called upon, he's made plays.
Remember, playing with 5 personal fouls here in the 4th. Weems gets it down low, and he's fouled.
Nice catch underneath there by Weems, and also good defense, good help. Unfortunately, the foul was called, but see Dejun do a good job of closing off that baseline and forcing Weems back away from the hoop.
Ball on the floor, inbounds underneath for Guangdong.
Good skip.
Rui, he hit a couple of 3s in that 3rd quarter. Kind of out of control, and he just lost it.
Yeah, Dejun did a good job of standing his ground, and I think helped even more there by just the out of control play.
Zhu checking in.
Zhu, I don't think has scored yet today, and the Southern Tigers might be looking for a lift from him here.
Mayo pulls back for 3, doesn't hit, but Dejun, another offensive rebound.
One-handed rebound from Dejun.
Makes it look so easy, gets it back. nifty move from the 7-footer.
Guangdong able to open things up there by driving baseline, and a great cut to the hole, going to the rack Dejun.
Weems right back at the big man, and he's fouled.
You heard all of the Ning fans just react there because they thought, as Dejun does, that was clean. Oh.
Maybe when he finished?
Oh.
I don't know. Dufang is fired up. Try to close out another championship. And Weems taking advantage of the trip to the free throw line. At a team high 28 points in game 1, as a team high 34 points here so far in game 2.
Don't forget, the free throw line has been the place that Guangdong suffered the most. Big miss there. Flying Leopards a chance to lead here.
1 point Southern Tigers lead. Guangdong gets open, now over to Xi'an. 8 seconds to shoot. Step back, just short.
Short shot clock there, not a terrible shot by Xi'an.
Stolen away. Xi'an all by himself. And the layup goes.
I have no idea how he scored that basket. Doesn't matter.
He kind of stopped and made things a little bit more difficult for himself, but the 10th point gives the Flying Leopards a lead.
Give Alejandro Martinez-Plasencia credit for keeping Xi'an in this game. Saw he had the hot hand and keeping it going.
Tough catch for Pang, and the defensive rebound by Mayo. The Flying Leopards had not led in this second half until just now. Guangdong, straight away.
They're gonna let him take it. He's gonna keep shooting.
Double digits for Wang.
Made one in the first, he's got one in the second, despite shooting 15% from behind the line this year. He's provided valuable minutes.
Weems trying to answer, he loses it.
More out of control play here by the Southern Tigers. They've been out of whack all quarter long. Ning putting the pressure on.
And Zhao Rui to check back in for Guangdong. Dufang looking for any type of answer. His fourth quarter has belonged to the Flying Leopards. And check the turnovers here in the quarter. 7-1 as Mayo hits the deck. No call.
Should have been called a travel if they weren't going to call a foul.
Guangdong just off on the second straight 3.
Another big rebound there by Jian Lian. There's a lot of bodies in there. He got his arms up. They need to be looking to him right here to score. He's the MVP for a reason now. This is the finals.
Nice defensive play by Xi Wei. Transition chance. Xi'an up and under.
Look at Xi'an.
It's a 6-point Flying Leopards lead. This is unbelievable.
You're looking for those guys outside of Mayo and Dejun and Ailun. Xi'an's the guy.
Weems can't hit. All of a sudden, with 3 minutes to go, Liao Ning kind of take your time up by 6.
Yeah, and the Southern Tigers, as I mentioned, has been out of whack. They've been rushing some shots, haven't had good looks.
Mayo pulls up, 3, way off.
That was a good look by Mayo. Just
pass quickly ahead to Weems and a foul. Yeah, I don't know why it was, that hit in rhythm, it looked good. Just didn't come out right.
If you're the Southern Tigers here, you got 3 minutes to play. You just need to settle things down on the offensive end. You've had some mismatches. You have the MVP and Jian Lian on your side. I know Dejun's a great player, but Jian Lian can feed, he can do other things than just go right up against Dejun. Even if he does that, he might have the advantage. They have to make free throws too.
Yeah, until that last trip to the free throw line, it was a 6-for-6 night for Sonny Weems, but he missed his second one on that last trip, and he misses the first one here.
I mean, you got to think too, fatigue could be playing a factor. These guys have played a lot of time, a lot of games here in a short amount of time.
Under 3 minutes to go. Liao Ning looking to force a decisive game 3 on Saturday.
Good trap.
And a held ball. I believe this will stay with the Flying Leopards on the possession.
You got to wonder here if the Southern Tigers will go to some of this trapping defense. That nice hedge out there by Jian Lian. But they've had a lot of success pressing and trapping out of that game full court. And now that they're trailing, which you didn't think they would need it up until now, but they're down 5 with 2:30 to play.
It's a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Guo Ailun back into the game here for the Flying Leopards.
Though when they came back against the Ducks in game 1 of the semifinals, you felt like there wasn't much urgency, and then all of a sudden, boom, they were back in it.
DeJean off, and here comes Weems. Rui, 3. Excuse me, it's Run Wang for 3. Big shot for the Southern Tigers.
Run Wang, a guy that you mentioned, Rui, Travis, and he was the one from beyond the arc earlier, and that opened things up for Run Wang here.
Guo double. Ji Wei trying to answer. Back rimmed it. Chance to tie it back up for Guangdong. Here is Rui getting into the lane. Didn't even look to shoot.
Saw DeJean in there waiting for him. Good decision.
Rui now takes it strong. Put back goes.
Nice take to the basket there by Rui. He went until DeJean came up, and he never did. You see DeJean move back farther, and then early on, that's Run Wang. That big 3 from the corner, and moments later, Jian Lian, the MVP for a reason, trying to guide his Southern Tigers to their 2nd straight title. Timeout on the floor.
A couple of minutes to go here in game 2, and what a 4th quarter this has been from Gao Xian and Guo Ailun, bringing this Flying Leopards squad back. They were down by 12 entering the 4th, and they have responded in a gigantic way. We are all knotted up with just a couple of minutes left.
A situation where you want your leaders and your veterans to step up, nothing more than Guo Ailun doing it. 2 straight steals here in the 4th quarter, setting up 5 points, and it ended up being 8, and then that just added up to more for the Flying Leopards. Now in position to try and force a game 3, though, the Southern Tigers with a response here over the last minute or so.
At game 3, if the Flying Leopards can pull this one off here in game 2, game 3 would come your way Saturday. You can see it at 11 p.m. Eastern here on 11 Sports. O.J. Mayo to inbound, 109, 137 left.
See what the full court pressure looks like. Trapping.
Ji Wei dances out of a potential trap, and now Mayo easily brings it over.
Settle back into that zone.
Interesting to see Weems matched up against Guo. Mayo left alone for a 2nd, and he hits!
Big shot by Mayo. Missed a wide open shot earlier. Makes that one.
Weems trying to respond and does.
Guangdong been so good responding after a made basket and running the floor. Nothing bigger than that right there.
Couple of American stars with big buckets, both with a lot of points. 28 for Mayo, 37 now for Sonny Weems. And Mayo fouled well away from the hoop.
Close there for DeJean on that screen. You can see him leaning just ever so slightly out.
He was moving a little bit too.
That could have been called either way.
Under a minute to go, 112, 111. Guo in a little bit of trouble. 7 seconds to shoot, splits the double. Ji Wei, 3, yes!
Bang. Great pass out of the splitting the double team by Ailun, found the open Ji Wei.
A 4-point lead, Jian Lian, the slam at the other end.
He's coming alive here, a minute to go.
Guangdong can play this out, but you gotta get a stop.
13-second differential between the game and shot clock.
Guo versus Weems here. DeJean comes to set the screen. Ji Wei thought about it. Free throw line, jumper, short. Big rebound, comes down to Guangdong with 14.
Timeout.
And a timeout as Du Fang wants to set something up for his Guangdong squad, down by 2.
Du Fang throughout these playoffs has done such a good job coming out of timeouts. I know, I mean, I can go either way with calling one there. With you know, you got veterans on your team. You have Jian Lian as well. I mean, a guy who's cleaned up a lot, and you can maybe take your chance here. You drop a play and maybe hope he can get a rebound on a miss, and go with Weems at first. I guess I think that he's done a good job so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what he draws up here.
You see back-to-back threes from Ji Wei and Mayo. Some gigantic shots here for Liao Ning, a team that didn't hit a lot of threes in the first 3 quarters, but this 4th quarter has been a resurgence from beyond the arc for the Flying Leopards.
I mean, that 3 from Ji Wei, maybe the biggest of the game. Guo Lun splitting a trap, looked like he had nowhere to go. And then the presence of mind, instead of driving to the hole, which he could have done and maybe gotten fouled, finding Ji Wei, knowing that his fellow backcourt mate would make the 3.
So Ren Junfei to inbound. Keep an eye on Weems, keep an eye on Jian Lian. Here for Guangdong. Ball comes into Rui. Picked up his dribble. Now finally gets it to Weems with 6. Working against Mayo. Weems for 3. Short. And that will do it. Liao Ning completing an almost unthinkable comeback in the 4th quarter, and they have forced a game 3 here in the finals.
Don't forget, just the 2nd loss for the Southern Tigers since before the pandemic stoppage, since December 15th. Just to lose this game for the Southern Tigers is a huge deal, let alone it being in the finals, Travis.
So Guangdong will have to wait until at least Saturday to try to win their 2nd straight CBA championship as Liao Ning comes back from down 12 entering the 4th, down 20 in the 2nd half to force a game 3. Your final score, 115-113 here from Qingdao. For Travis Eldridge, our entire crew, or for Tom Eschen, I'm Travis Eldridge. Our entire crew says so long here on 11.